Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video thing. So here's the deal. So far on this channel, I've been treating my video essays as these super important undertakings that I have to take the time to perfectly craft. I've been recording narration while making sure my voice is as on brand as possible, doing constant retakes until I sound perfect. I've been making sure the visuals have minimal filler and are always dynamically changing based on what I happen to be talking about sentence by sentence, for the most part. The result is that I've felt a bit overwhelmed whenever I've considered working on one. The editing process has been slow, and my upload rate has been... well, if I were more popular, I could maybe get away with this, but for someone of my channel size, it's getting me nowhere fast. I've been gaining a few dozen or maybe a few hundred subscribers whenever I upload something, and with me routinely going 2 months without posting anything, it doesn't seem likely that I'd get anywhere within the next couple of years. That, my friends, needs to change. It's been almost 2 years since I started this channel. In that time, many people who take YouTube seriously have already forged a respectable following for themselves. I mean, look at this guy. The channel's been around for about the same amount of time as mine. I remember seeing him have the same or maybe even fewer subscribers than me at one point, but now he has 16 times as many as me. The difference is that this boy has been going. My uploads have been haphazard and disjointed, his have been consistent in both subject matter and frequency. Now, I'm not so sure how well I'd be able to obtain consistency in subject matter, considering I am a jack-of-all-trades, master of none who likes to dip his toes in a million different things, but I should, at the very least, aim for consistency in frequency. So here's how I'm going to do that. Going forward, at least for a while, I'm going to be taking a much more casual approach to my videos. To give you an idea of what I mean, let me explain how these kinds of video essays I've been doing are made. Step 1, write the scripts. I'm a pretty natural writer, so this part comes easy to me. I'd consider these to be the most important aspect of my videos, and the quality of my scripts going forward will be remaining the same. Step 2, record narration. This part can be a bit harder for me because I naturally tend to slur my words and mumble a lot, and so far I've been trying my best to enunciate everything as professionally as possible, which leads to a lot of retakes and careful editing. I'm gonna say fuck that from here on out. I'll do my best to make sure you can actually, understand me, but I'm gonna try not to stress myself over sounding perfect as much. I'm hoping this will also have the side effect of making me sound more natural and enjoyable to listen to. Step 3, do all the visuals. Now this part right here, this is what's been really tripping me up. Look at this. Look at all this shit. Look at this and understand that this is actually pretty middle-of-the-road editing, and that if I really took editing seriously, things might look twice as complex as this. Fuck that. Listen, I enjoy making videos, but I've come to realize that I'm not a very passionate editor. Oh, also, step 4 is adding music and then the video's done, but that part's easy. Let me talk more about visuals. Videos of this nature have 2 types of visuals that I'd like to distinguish as key and filler. Key visuals are things you show on screen to support your argument, things that have a lot of relevance to what you're saying. Examples of some key visuals in my last video are the sliding scale of gay, that part where I put 3 different definitions of the word trap on screen, etc. Filler visuals, however, are everything else. Everything. See, the thing about video essays is that, to a certain degree, a lot of them are basically just glorified text posts. There are plenty of them that make optimal use of the medium, for example when talking about film, but when it comes to the kinds of things I usually talk about, there are actually surprisingly few pieces of visuals that are necessary. The rest exist just to keep the audience's attention, to hold visual engagement. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go watch this video. Oh yeah, today's shoutout is Extra, I guess. He talks about Just a Robot, an individual who puts absolutely zero effort whatsoever into his visual filler. The vast majority of his videos are just his talk sprayed against a static background, changing every now and then. That right there is the absolute bare minimum effort you can put into a video's presentation without it becoming classified as a podcast. You don't technically need to do any more than that if your scripts are your main selling point, but your videos are going to look incredibly boring. On the other end of that spectrum, you have someone like Xro. Xro puts effort into editing just about every single moment of filler visuals. Let me dissect a random snippet from this video for you to show what I'm talking about. So first he does this little fading slide effect to illustrate what he's talking about.
Exact same as the avatar he insists on using 3 years later in 2019.
Then he gets to a part where he must have been like, okay, what the hell did I even put here? And rather than just slapping his own talk straight on the screen for a few seconds, he goes out and searches for some footage that's decently relevant. And then he does this little text section to emphasize his points, making sure the text gets slightly bigger each time.
The same. The intro?
Just a robot.
the same.
He shows a few seconds of footage from Jar's channel, but also adds a zoom effect to compensate for Jar's inherent lack of visual engagement. He does this again with a different zoom and rotate effect right afterwards to spice things up so it's not the exact same effect again. He finds an appropriate image that can be placed on screen to accompany his next sentence, zooming in so it's not just a static screen, and then he just keeps on going with a slide-in transition, and like, I could sit here all day. He did all that for 50 seconds of footage in a 29-minute video, and the fucked up thing is that only about 14 of those seconds actually even needed visual accompaniment. The rest could have been anything. He could have stretched out that footage of the factory robots and used that for the remaining 36 seconds if he wanted to, and it would have been fine. It's sure a bit lazier, but still passively engaging. See, the effort you put into videos on YouTube has a very sharp curve of diminishing returns. You need a baseline of visual engagement to keep people entertained, but pretty much everything beyond that is just icing on the cake. Disclaimer, I have a ton of respect for people who go all out on their editing. They put in work, and the videos are great to watch. It's just that I think there's a point where the greatness of watching them stops outweighing the effort required to make them, and that point is a lot sooner than you'd hope. This is all going to be based on rough speculation, but let's say you use 10% of the effort you could be expending on a particular video. Maybe the vast majority of the visuals are just gameplay footage to work as a filler with the occasional key visual popping up on screen every now and then. Maybe you have 30,000 subscribers and that video ends up getting, say, 16,000 views. But what would have happened if you instead used 80% of the effort you could have expended on that video? Instead of gameplay, you're constantly switching up the visuals like extra, rarely or never relying on generic footage to fill time. In that case, I honestly don't think you'd see a very big difference in your view count. Maybe 19,000 instead? I don't know. Maybe that's me being pessimistic, but I don't really think of myself as a pessimistic person. I think that's just kinda how this website works. Now let's say that instead of putting 80% of yourself into that one video, you instead put 10 or 20% of yourself into two videos, and are able to complete them both in the same amount of time it would have taken to 80% one of them. Well, you just got 16,000 views on one and then 16,000 views on another for a total of 32,000. Again, none of these numbers are going to be exact, but I think the idea is accurate. And in addition to those extra views, you're racking up twice the watch time, assuming both videos are the same length, and you're uploading more consistently with half the breaks between uploads. These are all things that make the algorithm smile upon you. It might not work how you want, but we didn't choose this god, we're stuck with it, and we just have to do what we can to please it. So far I've been an example of someone who sorta half-asses their visuals. I've put effort into visual filler here and there and making images or sometimes even drawings to accompany what I want to say, but I've also relied a lot on extended periods of time where I just kind of throw my talks right on screen with a static background since I don't know what else to put there. Baxter, on the other hand, has been whole-assing his visuals, and Just a Robot has been no-assing his. I've maybe using about 60% of my ass, but for the sake of being able to create videos that I enjoy making in a timely manner, I'm gonna drop that down to, say, about 15 or 20%. Honestly, I don't think there's much point in trying to force myself to go halfway with something I'm not willing to go all the way on, so instead I'm going to go only a little way. My scripts are my selling point. Beyond that, I just need something for people to look at while I talk. However, I am also going to try my best to make sure the visuals are still reasonably engaging. I won't be stressing over filling in as many moments as I can with unique imagery, but I'll try to still have something interesting to look at during non-key moments. Maybe you'll see some speed paints, maybe some gameplay footage, I don't know. Whatever I can think to put in that's at least somewhat related and is long form enough that I won't have to constantly scramble for something new every 7 seconds. Honestly, it'll probably just end up being the same level of effort that people in the anime or gaming genres put into their videos. They've got endless footage they can just slap in and call it a day. I did that with my Felix Argyle videos and the Minecraft is an Existential Nightmare one. Those are a breeze to edit compared to my usual stuff. But then you got people like ContraPoints whose job should be easy because all you have to do for filler is put in footage of yourself talking into a camera, but she makes things a billion times more complicated for herself with insane set pieces because she's a crazy person. I guess she can get away with sparser uploads due to her channel's size, but for someone at my level, a greater focus has to be put on quantity. So yes, all that to say, my video quality is going to be undertaking a rebalancing. I'm going to be searching for the most optimal combination of minimal effort plus maximum visual engagement I can find, so if anything I don't think the viewing experience will be particularly hindered. I mean, I've got this nice cozy room here that I think looks pretty neat, and these talk sprites were drawn in a fraction of the time as my last one, so I should be able to have more varied poses and stuff too by embracing this somewhat more scribbly style. I think this is already a lot nicer to look at than my previous videos while simultaneously being easier to edit, so hopefully this will be a win-win all around. Like, extra effort does not even necessarily translate to a better viewing experience. You could spend a month painting a masterpiece and then have a still image of that painting be on screen for your entire video, but that would still be more boring to look at than just some random anime footage. I'm going to be trying my best to make my videos nice to watch, but I am going to sacrifice the effort I spend on each video in order to upload more frequently. If everything goes as planned, you'll see a roughly equal or possibly slightly better viewing experience. I'll have more fun making videos, uploads will become more frequent, and I'll start gaining subscribers at a practical rate. That's what I call a win-win-win-win. Hopefully I don't somehow fuck it up. I just wanted to tell you guys what my plans are for the sake of transparency. And speaking of my plans, weekly uploads. I'm gonna try it. Not indefinitely, but at least for a while. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go. I'm gonna try to get myself somewhere. I'm starting this engine, and I'm gonna try to put in work. But I've seen enough burned out YouTubers to know that I should let myself stop if it starts to get bad. Here's what you can expect. Stream highlights. Those will probably stay the same. The way I've been handling them is I've been posting a single really long video for each game every now and then rather than a bunch of shorter ones, so I don't flood my channel with that stuff since I want my other videos to represent me more. I thought about posting them on a secondary channel instead, maybe my old Macageddon one, at which point I'd split them up more and upload them more frequently, but I'm unsure of that. They're my least popular videos, but I enjoy making them, and those who do decide to watch them enjoy them as well. On one hand, if I keep them on this channel, it's free watch time, but on the other hand, YouTube might not like the fact that I upload things here that don't get clicked on as much. I don't really know what the best thing to do for that is. I guess let me know what you think if you have any idea. Music tutorials. I'm gonna experiment a bit with making these shorter and more entertaining to general audiences while still retaining a decent amount of educational value. We'll see how that goes. And I've already explained my plan for video essays. Ideally, I would like to alternate these three types of videos so that like 1 week's an essay, then a gameplay video, then a music thing or something like that, but we'll see. I don't know why I've been cursed to equally enjoy making videos on all three of these totally disjointed topics, but goddamn it, I'm gonna keep doing what I like. Doesn't really make for an ideal brand, but I'm still gonna try to make it work. Alongside all of that, don't be surprised if you start seeing some different or experimental videos pop up here and there. The most important thing is for me to be able to latch onto an idea and make a reasonably quality video out of it as soon as I can, so I'm gonna probably just go with whatever ideas come to mind. Oh yeah, I should probably give an update on my depression since I talked about it at length in my last update. I've been on antidepressants since then and things are actually a lot better now. The times where I've broken down crying for no reason whatsoever have become significantly less frequent, and I no longer feel as crippled. Rather than my productivity being hindered by a heavy blanket of sadness and apathy, I'm now hindered primarily by my own laziness, which I at least stand a fighting chance against. I'm able to do stuff more now, it's nice. Go back and watch my last update video if you haven't. If you feel similar symptoms to the ones I described there, then for God's sake talk to a doctor and get some antidepressants. Oh my god, I actually sort of feel like a person now. I was lucky enough to have the first brand prescribed to me be effective. A lot of people have to try different kinds first, but like, Jesus. My brain is actually okay now. There's still bad moments here and there, but I don't live in constant fear of them coming over me anymore. And for those rare moments where I do feel the darkness, it helps that I now have an unbelievably bright ray of sunshine who is wonderful enough to see me through it every time. Avery is an absolute gift, and I'm honored that they think I deserve someone as kind and adorable as them as my partner. Wow, this ended up being way longer than I thought. So yeah, there's your update video. I hope you look forward to seeing more from me. I'm gonna stop treating these videos as precision-crafted monoliths. I'm just gonna lie here and say words. I got my nice comfy floor here, I've got B-roll footage on the monitor, that's all I need. Welcome to the floor arc. Also, I'm probably gonna try to save up to get a better microphone soon. Don't worry, oh god, this is really bad.